everybody. Welcome back. This is Miss Faye, and this is my world. All right. Today's topic is codependency and how to deal with it. All right. Before we get started, I want to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to all of the new viewers, all of the new subscribers, and welcome to you who have been with me from the beginning. I really appreciate you. Now, those of you who are new to the channel, I will answer your relationship questions. So at the end of the video, I'll show you a link where you can send in your questions, and I will either answer them privately through the email, or I will share them online with the collective, and it can be your decision. Now, those of you who are interested in these caps, they are available in my online store, and you find a link in the description. All right, now it's time for today's affirmation. And we do these affirmations to help with your spiritual growth. And here it is. I am destined for success. I am so grateful. My dreams are becoming my reality. All right, let this sink into your spirit. I am destined for success. Know it, and it can be yours. I am destined for success. I am so grateful. My dreams are becoming my reality. Let this affirmation sink deep into your spirit and let it be a blessing to you today. Now it's time for movement. And every day we do the movements just to loosen up our muscles. All right? Okay, today we're going to do 2 neck movements and 5 of each. All right, so what we're going to do is sit up straight, breathe in deep, and we're going to do this. That's 1. All right, and we're going to do 5, going this way. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. After each movement, I like to shake it out. All right. Now let's go this way 5 times. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. How's that feel? Hopefully it kind of loosens up those neck muscles back there. All right? Okay. Now let's dive into the message today. I did pull a video. Let's look at the video, and we have a letter, and then we're going to talk about it. All right? Here we go.
Codependency really is just simply this. If you're good, I'm good. If you're not good, I'm not good. That's it. My emotional state is based on somebody else's emotional state. It's based outside of myself. My sense of self, my sense of worth is based outside of myself, right? Now that could be romantic, that could be children, that could be parents. It doesn't matter. We're raised in a codependent society. I mean, we are led to believe that love is codependency. I can't live without you. You complete me. I just want to be around you all the time. My life becomes your life. Like we're not our own separate beings.
Let's heal from codependency. Codependency is a learned behavior, and therefore it can be unlearned. So here are 6 things that you can do, that you can start doing right away to help you heal from codependency or codependent type traits. 1, focus on you and your own needs. Oftentimes with codependency, we focus on other people's needs and we put other people first. We make them a priority. Well, this time, Put yourself first. Make yourself a priority. Make your needs, your own desires, a priority. Practice this. I know it feels uncomfortable, but this is important. Number 2, ask for what you need. Practice this. Ask for help. Even though you feel like you can do it and you can accomplish it and you can overcome yourself, practice asking others for help, and you might just find that it becomes easier and easier to do this. 3, no, period. No is a complete sentence. Practice saying this. Practice saying no. And you don't have to give a reason. You don't have to give an excuse. If somebody asks you to do something, even if you can do it, even if you have time, even if you have the skills and the resources to do it, just say no and see how that feels. Practice doing that. It gets easier and easier. And then you find that you have more time for you. Number 4, I want you to set clear boundaries for yourself. Remember that boundaries are only for you. They're not for other people. So setting a clear boundary that you will abide by and not cross is really important. So you can't set a boundary for somebody else because they are going to cross it, and oftentimes you have no way of enforcing it. So set clear boundaries for you. If I'm around somebody who is going to talk to me in a condescending, rude, and disrespectful way, I'm no longer going to stay around that person. Versus, you will not talk to me like that. You can't really enforce that. They're going to violate it. Set clear boundaries for yourself. Number 5, spend time with you. Be kind and loving towards yourself. Engage in some self-compassion, some self-care. Get to know who you really are. This is so important because when we put other people first, we lose track and lose sight of who we actually are, what we want, what our goals are for our lives. And 6, accept yourself for who you are. You are perfect just the way that you are. Just be you. Embrace you.
Now, here's the thing. Codependency is a result of childhood trauma. You experienced some trauma growing up, whether it was something really big or something small that just happened time and time again. Some sort of neglect on an emotional level, a physical level, a mental level. It doesn't matter. You received neglect. So it could be something as simple as no one really asked you about how your day was. Or if they did ask you about how your day was, no one really cared. When you try to basically tell people what you think and how you feel when you were a child, understanding what you needed, it was dismissed. It wasn't valued. You weren't respected. You weren't heard. People didn't give you what you needed physically, emotionally, mentally, and these really deep, deep levels that would have nurtured a healthy sense of self. So if you didn't get any of those things, then you're going to grow up in a world where you feel unconsciously, this is way deep in the back of the mind, that you are a problem. This is where the I'm unlovable wound comes from. This is where the abandonment wound comes from. And most people have a multitude of wounds. It's not just one thing. And it's not as simple as, well, dad pieced out and that's why I have an abandonment wound. It goes deeper than that. So understanding where your wounds are and how they show up in your life is huge. If you don't understand that, and if you don't even know that information, guess what? They show up in your life every single day. They dictate how you feel. They dictate the job you have. They dictate the relationship.
You see, in the video, they gave you quite a bit of information about codependency. I did pull a little description here. Let's see what it says. A person who is codependent will plan their entire life around pleasing another person. Wow. The codependent's self-esteem and self-worth will come only from sacrificing themselves for their partner. Ladies, we don't want to be codependent. We don't want to be codependent at all. As you saw in the video, the cause of codependency comes from some sort of trauma in your childhood that makes you want to please other people. Now, for me, I was raised in the house with a narcissist. So yeah, I learned to try to please to avoid conflict. All right? Okay. Before we get too deep in it, let's read the letter. And then we're going to talk deeper about codependency. She writes, I was wondering if I could get your perspective on codependency. I know how codependency can show up in romantic relationships. I was just wondering, how does it look amongst family? More specifically, when the mother is codependent. I don't want to bore you with all the details, but based on what you tell me, I'll know if my mother was codependent on me and if I'm codependent on my son as a result of that. All right, well, you didn't go into detail, so, it's hard to say whether your mother is codependent on you or not. Well, she relies on you probably for a lot of things. We see here codependency is not true love. It is a love addiction that can destroy your relationship and destroy you. The codependent craves a sense of being needed. And this all comes from some kind of childhood trauma. Now, some symptoms or signs of a codependent person: low self-esteem and self-love, no boundaries, people-pleasing, difficulty expressing emotions, and need for control, meaning a need to fix things, a need to rescue people, a need to manage things. Now, codependency is not true love, all right? I know a lot of times if you have a codependent around you and, they're doing everything to please you or whatever, it doesn't mean that is true love. It doesn't mean that. It is a love addiction that can destroy your relationship and destroy you as a person. Codependent individuals are not narcissistic, as a matter of fact, because they don't express the core traits: entitlement, exploitation, and the lack of empathy. See, that's a narcissist. So they're not narcissistic because they don't have those traits, the traits of entitlement, exploitation, and lack of empathy. Okay? But on the other hand, the codependent is the perfect match for the narcissist, because the codependent is a giver and the narcissist is a taker. Okay? From my own understanding of codependency and the definitions that I've given you, if you are that way with your son, you really don't have any boundaries for yourself. You do anything for your son, he can do anything to you. Maybe you are codependent with your son. And if your mother does the same thing to you, you are codependent to your mother. But what you need to do is just look at these definitions and the symptoms and see if you fit into that. If you have low self-esteem and no self-love, you probably are codependent and have a fear of abandonment. All of that is a part of it. You see, you need to do some self-examination. And you can do this on your spiritual journey. Spend time with yourself. And I'll say that a big part of this is you need to start loving yourself instead of things outside of you. You know, what other people have, what other people are doing, what other people's problems are. Don't concentrate on that anymore. Concentrate on yourself, on loving yourself first. And this is a way you can heal from codependency, by just loving yourself. All right. I did want to say something about the codependency because I was raised in the home with a narcissist. And I was definitely a codependent from that situation because I was always trying to please my partners first before me. Always. During my day, I would think about what I could do to please my partner and not thinking about what pleases me. And also, I had a fear of abandonment. And I'm sure that this happened to me because my father was a narcissist. Okay? I was raised in a house with a narcissist. Again, just like the fella said in the video, this comes from some sort of traumatic experience in childhood that makes you codependent. All right? Okay. Now, I hope that that's clear, and I hope that you understand. Now, those of you who have questions that you would like for me to answer, here is the link. Send your questions to Miss Faye's World, YT, at hotmail.com. That's Miss Faye's World, YT, at hotmail.com. And try to keep your letters to one page. Just summarize your situation and ask the question. But just make sure you give me enough information in the situation so that I can answer the question. Okay? And if you prefer that I answer your question privately through the email, just put it at the very top of your letter and I will comply. I want to thank you all so very much for supporting this channel, and to show my appreciation, I will be giving away a deck just like this one to one of you lucky subscribers once we hit 100,000. This is a 53 Oracle card deck that I have been choosing from for our daily affirmations. And one of you lucky subscribers will get your own. And I will announce the name of the winner once we hit that number. So keep watching and good luck to all of you. I want to thank you so much for your comments and your letters. And a special thank you to those that leave a donation. I really appreciate all of you. And I wish you all the very best. And I really hope to see you next time.